We're on the AQA AS Maths May 2018, paper 1, and we're looking at question 2, which tells me that I have a circle that has equation x minus 2 all squared plus y plus 3 all squared equals 13. I'm told to find the gradient of the tangent to this circle at the origin. So that tells me straight away that it does touch the origin. Well, that's important to know. When I have an equation of a circle, I think a useful thing to do is to write down what I know. So I know the centre is at 2, -3, and that I can just read off. And I know that the radius is equal to square root of 13. Those are things I know. I may need them in a moment. Let's see what happens then. So I've got some circle. 2, -3 is down here somewhere. If I plot my, if I sketch a graph of it, let's call that y, let's call that x, and see what happens when I sketch a circle. 2, -3 is down here somewhere, and it's going to be root 13 will be that distance there. And I've got some sort of circle that looks something like that. That's not silly. That distance there is 2. That distance there is 3. And that distance there must be square root 13. That's not a surprise to me. 2 squared plus 3 squared is 4 plus 9 is 13. So that will be the square root by Pythag. And I'm asked to find the gradient of the tangent. So I'm asked to find this line along here. Well, this is a radius I've drawn down here, and that's a tangent, and the angle between a radius and a tangent must always be 90 degrees. So I know there's a 90-degree angle in there. So if I can find the radius, the gradient of this radius, well, I can find the gradient of the triangle using the rule, the gradient of the tangent, using the rule that the gradient of one multiplied by the gradient of the other must give me -1 because they are at right angles. So what's the gradient of the normal? Gradient of, let's call it a radius, shall we? The gradient of the radius in this case is, well, how far have I gone across? I've gone 2 across and I've gone down 3. So my gradient is how far up by how far across. So I've gone -3 and I've gone 2 across. So that's the gradient of my radius, but I'm not asked for that. I'm asked the gradient of the other. Well, if I use the rule that m1 times m2, that means the gradient of one line times the gradient of the other line must give me -1. Then I can look at this and pretty much write down the answer. -3 over 2 times something over something must equal -1. Well, the negative's already there. To make that 2 into a 1, I put a 2 there, put a 3 there, and I get an answer of 2/3. So my answer would be 2/3, which helpfully is one of the options I'm given.